Namaste, this is Chanel from Queen of Cups Healing. This reading features the Light Zero Tarot and the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle. We will be uncovering the energies of the full moon in Taurus on the 19th, which is also a partial lunar eclipse. Take notes because the vibration of this eclipse will resonate for the next 6 months. At this point, I invite you to pick the deck or crystal which resonates strongest for you. In the video description, you will find my Linktree URL, connecting you to links for my tarot reading and spiritual services, and my Etsy store for healing crystals. You will also find timestamps for your chosen reading, which you can use to navigate the video. Thank you for joining me. Please like and share. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications for future readings. As always, love all and harm none. This includes yourself.
Namaste, Labradorite group. Thank you so much for joining me. As I mentioned in the introduction, this is your reading for the partial lunar eclipse on November 19. It is going to be a full moon in Taurus, and yes, it will be a partial lunar eclipse. So we're going to be exploring energies of the Taurus full moon. But we're also going to take this opportunity to explore eclipse energies and what that kind of brings to the table and what that represents to us. So I'm really glad that you could join me. And I hope that fall has been treating you well. I hope that you've been manifesting the best. Manifest the best. I know I haven't been available on the the cards of the day, but I will start doing those again soon. And I'm always available on Clubhouse, on Instagram Lives, on Clubhouse Live, and you can always just send me a message at qochealing.com. And I have plenty of email readings available. So for introverts like me who don't want to actually interact with people on the phone or through instant messaging, you can always send me a message that way or send me an email. So position number 1 is, what illusions will this lunar energy shed and what truths will be revealed? Here we have the energy of the Hierophant. So it's definitely a message about coming home to the self, about self-awakening, personal truth. So I think that this will be a revelation about the self, about who you are, about your life path and higher purpose. We will be clarifying these, so we're going to circle back around and clarify and give them each deeper meaning, and then we're going to get a full story. I'm always available, you guys, for tarot reading, energy healing, life coaching, and crystal healing. Did I say them all? Dream interpretation, and yes, energy healing. I noticed that a few of you guys have tried the energy healing. I think that it comes with great results, and I'd love to encounter a few more of you so that we can work through the energy work through those blockages and that heavy energy that can sometimes meet us in Scorpio season. What areas of self-care should you indulge in? I feel like, I know this sounds heavy, but maybe a good cry. This is 9 of Swords, so there's something that needs to be released, something that needs to be transmuted. You've gotten yourself unstuck. The 8 of Swords is the energy of being stuck, so you've gotten yourself unstuck, and it's all flowing now. But it's your goal right now that you're being tasked with is to keep it flowing. Okay, so journaling, you might want to just channel your shadow, which could involve swaying and moving or grunting, groaning, channeling your animalistic nature. You could also paint or create, or just create a ritual around your intentions. So there's a lot of ways that you can tap into your emotions and keep them flowing, but that's what you're being encouraged to do under this moon and going forward. It's important to remember that the effects of this full moon on the 19th will last for 6 months. They will be felt for 6 months. So carry this energy with you going forward. This is why it's so important that we're doing this reading now. because the energy of this partial lunar eclipse will be going forward with you. In what areas have you been overindulgent with yourself? Uh-oh. We all have in some ways. It's truth time. You put me on the spot, guys. In what ways have I been overindulgent with myself? I think that I don't set good boundaries and then I make excuses for it because overworking helps me deal with my anxiety. So I overindulge sometimes in work and then I make excuses for it. So that's how I overindulge myself. I make excuses for lack of good work boundaries. Uh-oh, my Labradorite group, I think you're overspending, which makes sense with this Taurus energy, that you take your finances into better consideration and get your budget going and start thinking about how you're gonna make Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or New Year's, or how you're gonna spend your money according to that, or just into the new year. So I think some of you may have been spending too much money, or you need to come up with a better budget. Listen, I love spending money and then I'm so cheap. I don't know. Make it make sense. What abundance will this moon invite for my Labradorite group? What abundance will this invite into your life? I think this will invite a little healthy motivation, a little fire. Perhaps it'll get you motivated, get you competing against your best self or your most recent self, get that best self going, geared up, ready to go. So a little healthy competition, an abundance of energy this could also represent. So it does seem to be some energy, some motivation, some drive, some will, some fire. So that's good, an abundance of energy. Make sure we channel it accordingly. More on that once we clarify. And what must be released for the Labradorite group? What can you guys benefit from releasing? I think that it's just time to release unserving, lingering bits, relationships, circumstances, maybe trauma. You have to be able to move forward. This is the death or the rebirth card in reverse. So it's what must be released? You're holding on to the past. I think you're holding on to the past. You're not letting new energy come forward. So it's not specific, but we will clarify all of these to get a little bit more specifical. I love making up words. I mean, any port in a storm, guys. That's my little baby shaking off that energy, shaking off that bad juju. I mean, we could learn so much from dogs, right? How when they get nervous or anxious or just tense, how they just shake it off. I want everybody who watches this to just take a moment to shake it off now. Just shake off the bad energy. Oh, yes, work. Yes. Thank you, Mama, for reminding us to do that. She's looking at me like, why you putting my business out there? Why you putting my business out there? Okay, so it's important sometimes to just shake off the heavy energy. Doesn't have to be negative, just heavy. All right, what illusions will this lunar shed? It's about your personal truth. It's about your higher self. Yes. It's about, I believe that you're going to get some heavy messages about the time that it's ready to move forward, that you're ready to progress, that you're ready to make change. It's ready to make moves. So yes, I do think that you're going to get, if you take the time to meditate on that, if you take the time to do some scrying or some divination or some tarot work or some runes work or some communing with your ancestors, I think that you're going to learn a lot about what growth is coming next for you. What areas of self-care should you indulge in? I want to eat brownies and get my nails done, but I don't think the Spirit has that in mind. I mean, not that Spirit would never have that in mind, but I think that Spirit has bigger things planned for all of us. Self-care, should you involve it? Romance yourself, but I think that this card, the Knight of Cups, means to focus on yourself, because in many decks, the Knight of Cups represents compassion and love. But in some decks, he also recommends inward focus, or represents inward focus. So here we have the Nine of Swords, Knight of Cups. So self-care you should indulge in is like really be compassionate with yourself. Get in touch with some emotional energy. I see some of you in a bath filled with flowers or herbs, or I love a ritual bath. Ooh, flowers, herbs, crystals. Just take some time to indulge in all your emotions. I'm talking about Venusian, that means governed by Venus, herbs and essences. So that's rose, that is essences like that. Sometimes it's pomegranate, if you want to drink some pomegranate juice or some pomegranate wine, pomegranate tea. It's really about nurturing yourself with that, because we're in the full moon in Taurus, right? So Taurus is governed by Venus. So I think that it's about using the powers of the Venusian rose. Look it up, it'll benefit you, of the Venusian rose to really bring out all these emotions and show yourself nurturing and compassion while you're doing it. Trust me. Trust me. It'll make sense. When you're doing it, it'll make sense. No, seriously, guys. Like, put some rose quartz in the bath. Put some, like, burn some candles. Like, really get into that that vibe so that you can let your emotions free flow in a safe space. I think that could really do you a lot of good. But position number 3 tells us don't spend too much money with this self-care. Because in what areas have you been overindulgent with yourself? There seems to be an area of finance here, which we're going to clarify. I think you haven't really been thoughtful. Some of you haven't really been thoughtful about how you're spending money, or how you're going to use your money, or how you need to use your money, something to that effect. So start budgeting. Even if you haven't been wasteful, start planning for the future. Money is wonderful in the now. I mean, I've never been unhappy that I had money. But I'm a Taurus, it makes sense. But like, start using it to grow, start using it for your better good, for the highest purpose, and just be more mindful about it. King in Swords in reverse paired with the Ace of Pentacles means not enough thought is going into this. What abundance will this moon invite? This is interesting because we got the Five of Wands, which is usually like a card of a little bit of conflict and competition and spicy energy. So yes. Let's clarify that. Yeah. You guys, I'll be honest with you. I think for some of you, it's going to bring conflicts and fights and drama or arguments, or like some tensions are going to rise to the surface. I don't believe in just giving you guys the good news and the good word. But I think that it's going to be an abundance of energy, maybe conflict, maybe inner conflict, maybe relational conflict. So it could bring a little bit of an energy of, yeah, like I said, spiciness, interpersonal or intrapersonal, okay? But I want you to really stay in the moment. The Hanged Man says stay in the moment, work through it, navigate your way, don't repress, don't resist, because then you can't release, right? So I feel like for my Labradorite group, it could bring a lot of energy to the surface, and it could end up making you feel a little bit stuck. So you're gonna have to experience it so that you can release it. So it's you're gonna have to go through some stuff, but you can do it. I have faith in you. You have faith in you. Your guides have faith in you. It's just like, don't avoid it. If somebody's in a bad mood, or if somebody's triggering you, if you're triggering somebody, don't avoid it. You don't have to deal with them head on with them, but just process it on your own, right? What must be released? We got the Death card in reverse. Yeah. Here we have the Four of Swords. So I feel like, yeah, it's definitely a fear or an inability to move forward that has you stuck. So whatever you're being charged with to move forward or to release, do it, because Spirit's going to be coming to you with some heavy messages about what your next level of growth is. But first you have to let go of whatever's holding you back. So I know it's like, I hate to answer your question with a question, but it says what must be released? The past. I know it's so ambiguous and vague, but Spirit has more answers for you. And then we're going to do a message from Mother Moon, as I always do. The time for healing, not for war. So this probably speaks to this energy. You're being asked to like heal. I think that you're not being asked. This moon is being asked for you to explore certain things mentally. You're being asked to go within, nurture yourself, hold space for your emotions, show yourself compassion. You're being asked to be a little bit more mindful with money, heal your finances, prepare for the future. You're being asked to work through a conflict instead of avoiding it. And finally, you're being asked to release the future, release the past so you can progress in the future. So remember that when you feel too much resistance, don't fight it, like process. We're not fighting, we're processing. We're not pushing, we're processing. Yeah, I like to leave you guys with a good alliteration. We're not pushing, we're processing. Okay? It's not about power, it's about processing, it's about peace, it's about presence. Ooh, you guys, the alliterations are coming hard today. But listen, in all seriousness, you shouldn't be met with too much resistance. You're really being asked to accept and receive and like process these emotions without pushing forward and being like really steadfast and hard-nosed and bullish about it. Like the Taurus gets the reputation as being bullish and pushing through, but in actuality you're being asked to step into the Venus energy this time, and instead of like pushing through, you're being asked to receive and like let it flow through you and let it flow with you, right? Yes. For that, I recommend some rose quartz. You might also want to get some rhodonite. Where's my rhodonite? You might want to get some rhodonite. And I also recommend a little bit of amazonite. I love amazonite for truth, compassion, healing, heart space, good vibes. You guys, with every reading, I send out a little love and light and namaste energy. I sincerely hope you receive it today. I look forward to seeing you on my social media, when I do lives on Clubhouse and Instagram lives. If you don't catch me on the 15th, then you won't catch me again in maybe December. I'm going to try and do maybe one or two in December. But I will keep you posted. You guys, I hope that fall is treating you well, that you're manifesting the best as always, and I look forward to seeing you again around the second to last week of November for your December reading. Namaste, guys. Namaste, Moss Agate group. Thank you so much for joining me. As I mentioned in the introduction, this is your reading for the partial lunar eclipse, which is the full moon in Taurus on November 19th. We're going to be exploring Taurus energies. In the last reading, a lot of Venus energies came up. And of course, we'll be exploring lunar eclipse energies. Big flashing neon sign. The effects of this partial lunar eclipse will be felt for at least 6 months from now. Okay, this is not like this until the end of the month or this until the next new moon. This is going to be felt for beaucoup ta, a lot of time, mucho tiempo. Okay, so I want you guys to remember that and really allow the messages to meet you, and maybe they won't make sense right now, but they will continue to serve you, or it's my intention they will continue to serve you over the next 6 months. All right. So position number 1 is, what illusions will this lunar energy shed? What truths will be revealed? We're going to clarify all of these cards after. Okay, so what illusions will this lunar energy shed? What truths will be revealed? Something, you're not getting reciprocity somewhere, from someone, from something, Okay, so it's important to remember that. Somehow the give and take is not there and you're not being honored accordingly. Okay? Not good. Was that heavy? It's an awakening. I'm not going to say not good, but listen, get yours. If you're loving someone, if you're supporting someone, make sure they're doing it right back. What areas of self-care should you indulge in? I feel like you should dig in once again to the more feminine Venusian energies. This is their Emperor in reverse. I think it would serve you well to dig into that compassion, the rose energy, rose quartz, as I said, pomegranate, jasmine. I'm trying to think of all the Venusian energies governed by Venus, apple essences, and just the divine feminine energies, olive oil, um, moon energies as well. I feel like you want to really connect with the divine feminine on your path to self-care. So that also involves, did I say the water? Water is very key in this. So we're thinking ritual baths, water scrying. It was very similar to the last group. In what areas have you been overindulgent with yourself? Listen, I'm not a gossip, but the last group was having some trouble with the finances. They were spending a little much. Let's see what you guys' stuff is. I think you've been like really busy, busy bee, and I think that you've been going, going, going. As I told the last group, the way I overindulge myself is really not taking enough pauses and enough breaks in order to honor myself, practice good self-care. I'm a bit of a workaholic. That's how I deal with anxiety sometimes. So I don't have good boundaries. So you seem to have an issue of being overindulgent in terms of moving forward, always progressing, always bouncing from one thing to the next. The Chariot card, like any tarot card, means a lot of things, but that's just the energetic sense I'm getting for you here. Always setting yourself on the next phase. Of course, when we clarify, it'll come up different. What abundance will this moon invite? Yeah, I was just hearing, my guide kept going, peace, peace, peace. So here we have 10 of Cups. I think that is going to be a very peaceful moon. It's going to bring an abundance of peace, of well-being, of free-flowing energy. You might even, some of you might encounter completion, fulfillment, satisfaction, an end of a phase, closure, good vibes, or time with family and friends. Nice energy. What must be released? I'm hearing fear, but we'll see what the tarot brings up. Yeah. Here we have the Three of Pentacles. So I do feel like the fact that I'm hearing fear and the fact that we have the Three of Pentacles is perhaps you lean on others in order to help you, or to give you, not even to help you because I think you got it. I think you might lean on others in order to give you a false sense of security when in fact you can do it on your own. So something needs to be released in which you're collaborating or working in the group or relying too heavily on others. There's a fear element here that I picked up on. Alright guys, what illusions will this lunar energy shed? What truths will be revealed? We had an issue with reciprocity. This fell out of the deck into my chest. Yeah, I think this is a relational issue. Could be platonic or romantic. And the issue here is that somebody is not giving you the love that you're giving them, the attention, the love, the wisdom, the kindness, compassion. I could go on. And that's really going to come to you if you take the time to meditate on it, use divination tools, scrying, ancestral communication, anything like that. Focus on your relationships in which you're not receiving reciprocity, because this is definitely an issue of the heart. All right. In the area of self-care, what should you indulge in? Definitely to the divine feminine. And for me, that says Venus. We got a backwards card. Yeah. I think relinquishing control too. So give up control. Give up the need to control. I feel like I want you to really embrace your softness, and I think that this is also a sign of the Emperor in reverse. You don't have to project and manifest. Be willing to receive. So how do you do that? How can self-care look like that? It can look like, like I said, ritual baths. It can look like divination, like I said. It can look like receiving wisdom. It could look like an energy healing, a meditation, a visualization. You're receiving, right? You're receiving energy, you're receiving wisdom, you're receiving what you need. You don't have to create anything. It's about attracting and receiving whatever will nourish your soul. In what areas have you been overindulgent with yourself? We have a backwards card. This is interesting. We have the Two of Cups and then we have the Chariot. So I think that in some relationships, it's interesting. In one relationship or in some relationships, you're not being met with the equal love or reciprocity. But then in another relationship, I feel like you're not being fully present. And it could be that you're missing out on the love that you do want to get. And you're being overindulgent in terms of moving, going, and you're missing out on some love here that you could be enjoying. I feel like for some of you, Mark is coming to mind. Mark, that name is coming to mind, but also I feel that there's an energy here of you missing out on somebody's love, time, affection, good vibes, sexiness, maybe. And because you're going too fast, like you're missing out on it. You're missing because you're just flying by. You can't see the trees if you're going by at like 100 kilometers per hour. What abundance will this moon invite? I think that it's interesting because there's fulfillment, and I know I did mention time with family, but you're really supposed to get fulfillment on your own. You're supposed to get fulfillment on your own. I think a lot of you are supposed to get this fulfillment on your own, this peace and quiet. It's an abundance of self-satisfaction, peace, quiet, renewal during what we discussed here with the self-care, receiving. But I don't think it's in a group. I think for most of you, it's not in a group. It's on your own, deep reflection. Yeah, first a small, for maybe one or two of you, it could end up being that you end up getting, for one of two of you, it could end up meaning you get help, an abundance of help or support that you hadn't otherwise thought you had or hadn't received. So that could also be it, but I think most of you need some quiet time. What must be released? Here we have the Fool in reverse, so I do think that it's the fear that I mentioned the last go round, and I do feel like you're clinging to others maybe because you're afraid of going out on your own or making a go of it on your own. So don't be afraid. You can do it on your own. You can make it happen. We're going to get a message from Mother Moon. Let them go. Okay, so this we have let them go, right? So how does that apply to what's happening? I think that in the area of illusions, somebody is not loving you, platonic or romantic, in the way that's equal to the amount that you're investing in them. In the area of self-care, it's time to receive. And that could be wisdom. So it's time to do like a divination, get a reading, do some scrying, do like whatever you need to do to get your messages across, do some automatic writing, whatever you do. Where have you been overindulgent? I think you're moving too fast in love. Now it all makes sense. I think you're moving too fast in love. And I think you're maybe not seeing things balanced, and you're not seeing like a healthy perspective of things. Things are out of whack and you're not appreciating it. You're not seeing it for what it is. You are missing the forest for the trees, but not in the way I originally thought. In the area of abundance, you need some alone time. So you'll have an abundance of alone time to think, but I say an abundance of take the time to think and reflect and heal. It will be presented to you. And what must be released? Your fear of being alone or not having people to collaborate. Let them go. Your inner fire will be lit again. You will find that from the ashes, you are born anew. We don't really need one particular person forever and ever. Each person comes into our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime to teach us, support us, love us in the way that helps us learn and grow and heal and do the process all over again with either somebody new or with that person throughout our whole lives. So don't be afraid to let someone go. Okay? You guys, with every reading, I send out a little love and light and namaste energy. Let's rewind. You guys need a crystal for that. You guys need crystals for that. Okay, so I recommend these two crystals. I recommend the Snowflake Obsidian for breaking toxic cycles, and the Dalmatian Jasper for healing relational issues, for understanding patterns in toxic cycles and how you relate to people or how people are relating to you. In terms of release, I could also recommend to you some rutilated quartz, just for the light energy of protection, purification, and clarity, but also for that darkness of like that dark energy, the tourmaline, of your ability to ground yourself and shield negativity and transmute negativity. So basically, interestingly, it's all kind of like that dark and light energy that you're playing with. I'll give you more love and light. With every reading, I send out a little love and light and namaste energy. I sincerely hope you receive it today. Catch me on Clubhouse on November 15th. On November 15th. And I think maybe I'll see you in December 1 or 2 times. I'll keep you posted. Thanks so much for joining me, you guys. I will see you the second or last week of November for your December preview. Have an awesome week, you guys. Namaste. Manifest the best. Namaste, Rose Quartz Group. Look at this chunk of beautiful rose quartz I have for you this week. 2 beautiful chunks. I'm actually going to break these up. Don't cry. It doesn't hurt them. And I'm going to put them in my bags of 5 or 4 custom crystals that are available in my Etsy shop. So get them now. Get them for somebody for Christmas. Each bag comes with like a specialty item, like a piece of raw crystal, a pendant, or one of these beautiful hearts. So it's quite the deal. It's quite a fun little grab bag. For my Canadian people, do you remember Ardenne's little grab bags? It's like that, but way, way better. Ardenne is like, what is it called? Like Sally. What is that? It's like a little shop for girls where we had little, like scarves and socks and jewelry and, well, not necessarily girls, and nail polish and little things like that. And then you get like a $5 or $10 grab bag of like, they give us crap, but it's like that. It's a surprise bag. So I will, with these packages, I will make you a custom crystal package for your needs. And then of the crystals, you get this little random pack. This is, for some reason, I chose to only tell the Rose Quartz group. So, I don't know. Like, maybe it's like on a need-to-know basis. Tell your friends in the Moss, Agate, and Labradorite group. So, yes. We're going to be working with the partial lunar eclipse for the full moon in Taurus on the 19th. And we're going to be exploring both the Taurus energy and the lunar eclipse energy. Big neon sign flashing here, guys. The effects of this lunar eclipse will last for at least 6 months. They will be felt long time. Beaucoup temps, mucho tiempo. Okay, so we will feel this a long time. So what illusions will this lunar energy shed? What truths will be revealed? Something about the family, something about completion, something about relationships. This makes sense because let's not forget that Venus is governed, switch that, reverse it. Taurus is governed by Venus, so, and the heart space. So it's normal that a lot of these divine feminine and Venusian energies are coming up, right? I recommend to some of you that this resonates with to look up the Venusian rose healing, right? And that could mean something to some of you. And it could be a conduit of healing for some of you. But of healing, or you're going to get a lot of astrological stuff, which is pertinent, but not really the juicy stuff. Okay, what areas of self-care should you indulge in? I think a really great activity right now would be a grounding practice, earthing practice. I was just with my mummy. I was just with my mom in the park the other day, and she's like, "Don't you love the sound of the fall leaves crunching under the feet?" And it was so nice, and we just walked super quiet, and we crunched the leaves, and that's a great way of grounding yourself in the presence. So I think that, because this card to me says past energy, and I think that you could really benefit from just being present and enjoying nature and enjoying being in the moment. And what does that mean? Sensory, or I say sensual, then people think like bow chicka wow wow, but it's not. It's sensual experiences, right? Because Taurus is very sensual, meaning corporeal, meaning of the senses. In what areas have you been overindulgent with yourself? All right, here's the tea. I'm not a gossip. The Moss Agate group was spending too much money, and the Labradorite group was spending too much money, and the Moss Agate group was not like, what was the Moss Agate group up to? Oh, their love. They were overindulgent in terms of not seeing things as they should. They were indulging themselves in untruths, right? So you guys are up next. Oh yeah, and I decided I would drop my tea too. I'm gonna close the window right after this. I decided I would drop my tea too. And the way that I'm overindulgent is that I tend to overwork and have really poor working boundaries, because that's how I deal with my anxiety. And so by dealing with my anxiety, I overwork, and then I end up like burning out. And so that's how I overindulge myself. And then I make excuses for doing it. I'm going to go close the window because somebody chose to mow their lawn, which I don't appreciate very much. Rude. In what areas have you been overindulgent with yourself? Yeah, we just went through this, right? Okay. Page of Pentacles, that's interesting, because it could be a financial thing. It could be expenditures. It could be, that's an interesting one, you guys. I'm going to clarify that one, because it could be expenditures. It could be being stuck in your ways, a resistance to grow, or resistance to move forward, rather, a resistance to change. This is an interesting one. We'll circle back. What abundance will this moon invite? Balance, baby. Yes. Well, amen to the earth signs. We're going to hit some balance, which is going to feel awesome and lovely. Some grounding. I know that it feels, see, every deck is different. The World card to me in this deck represents balance, because she's dealing with the light and the dark. But then in some decks it represents karma, like give and take, bad and good, taking life as it comes. So for some of you it could represent like karmic return in a good way. For some of you, and unfortunately, it could recommend karmic return in a bad way. But for me, I'm getting a real sense of grounding just energetically, and this card's meaning for me personally. That's the beauty of tarot. I really have a pet peeve about people that go, the Wheel of Fortune, that means, like, yes, they have their meanings, and that's important sometimes, but if I give a meaning, that's because I felt spirit led to do that. So when you go on Twitter and you have all these people giving different meanings, it's such a beautiful thing, because they're processing their message from spirit. Please don't be rude. Or on Facebook or Instagram, this has never happened to me, but oh yeah, it did once. But please don't be rude and tell people what their cards mean to them. You don't know what they were thinking, or what they were asking, or what they were processing at that time. Also, please don't be rude and lay like a spread and then like message a tarot reader and go, what does this mean? Okay, well, she doesn't or he doesn't know what you were saying at the time of pulling the cards. That tarot reader didn't draw the card, so don't do that. It's kind of rude. Unless, like, they say it's okay, don't do that. It's kind of tacky. What must be released? I think a phase of indecision or uncertainty needs to be released. I think sometimes it's okay to just make the choice and just go forward. I think that it's okay sometimes to just do the dang thing. I didn't say the whole cuss word. I said dang. Just do the thing. Make the choice. Take the leap. This whole situation is going to need clarifiers. So much. So much. Okay. What illusions will this lunar energy shed? What truths will be revealed? Or what truths will it reveal? Okay, so it's a celebratory energy. You've accomplished something. You've completed something. You've brought something full circle. You've brought something to fruition. Yay! Work. Work. Wait. Work. Applause. You've brought something full circle. Good for you. Take time to celebrate that and be happy about that and applaud yourself and maybe reward yourself, depending on what the financial card says. I'll tell you how much you can reward yourself and in what ways. In what areas of self-care should you indulge in? Yeah, I think you need to get under the stars, and I think you need to really the power of presence. So get under the stars, get into the herbs if you are have pagan beliefs, get into the herbs, get into the rituals, get into the grass, get into the leaves. I know it might snow in some places in Canada soon, so get into like the snow, get into wherever you need to be in order to really connect with nature, because you have to be present right now. You might be feeling called back to the past, but you're really being called to ground yourself. Which is interesting because the next one is what areas have you been overindulgent? And I think the issue is being resistant to change. Or stubborn. We'll see. Yeah. It's like an inability to let yourself go and set yourself free, which I think the time in nature will really, really, really help you with. So let yourself go, have a little fun, set yourself free. Don't be shy to like let your hair down and enjoy yourself a little bit. Howl at the moon. Why not? What abundance will this moon invite? Alright. So I do think here we have the Seven of Wands. So it is an energy of peacefulness, of thoughtfulness, of retreat. It's following the Six of Wands. So this is definitely a wait and see energy. But I will backtrack and say that this is an energy of karmic coming back to you. But I think that this is an energy of change. So it's going to bring a lot of change. I think for some of you, you're going to get a message. I feel like a new job is coming in for maybe one or two of you. That's the hit I just got. But for some of you, it's just going to be a good positive change, a good change in terms of seeds that you invested or planted before. This is not out of nowhere. This is something that you've invested in the past, and it's going to come to fruition. Karmic energy, but your wait time is over. Good news. It's coming. The answer you've been waiting for. What must be released? Indecision seems like. Yeah, like your inability to really celebrate, to let go, to be present. You're worrying too much about making the choice or doing the right thing instead of worrying about enjoying yourself. Just let your hair down, enjoy yourself, do the thing. Don't worry, it'll be amazing. And this is your message from Mother Moon. Make the change, see? Ooh, I love it when a plan comes together. Make the change. And then, just then, my little counter, because the video stops at 15:55. Okay, this is amazing. Make the change. So do the dang thing. Don't be scared of like doing it right or making the perfect decision or how it's going to turn out. Do the thing. A stone of change, a stone of change. I do recommend the Labradorite for change. I also recommend the Sunstone for change. And a nice piece of citrine could also do the trick. I have citrine here somewhere. Ooh! You guys, don't get me started. Octagonal fluorite is great too. I have some here, but not on hand. Octagonal, oh, I do. Is that it? Oh, here. Octagonal fluorite, great for change, perception, transformation, amazing. And then this is the citrine I wanted you to get. Okay. You guys, I hope to see you on November 15th on Clubhouse, and December you might see me on Instagram Live or Clubhouse, not sure yet, but I'm only doing like 1 or 2. And then I'll see you the second or last week of November for the December preview. You guys, we're almost at the end of the year. Thank you so much for a much better year than last year. I think things are only getting better. And I'm thankful to having been able to share this journey with you guys. Continue manifesting the best. Namaste. Oh wait, with every reading, I send out a little love and light and namaste energy. And because I almost forgot yours, boo, poof, 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 I send yours out to you. I hope you received it today. Namaste, guys.